When I was in high school and college, I bought into the culture's idea that a man proved himself by sexual activity. And the result of that worldview was by the time that I was 21, I had fathered 3 children. And in every case, paid doctors to end the life of my child, including one late-term dilation and extraction abortion. And I didn't even realize that what I was doing was wrong. In fact, I felt that I was doing the manly thing. I was taking responsibility and taking care of the problem. After all, it wasn't really my responsibility, was it? It was the woman's job to keep from getting pregnant, right? Such was the depth of my depravity, but I thank God that by His mercy, He did not leave me in that lie. But by His truth, He opened my eyes to this and so many other lies that I believed. By His grace, He showed me that those children were not just the children of those women, but those children were and are my children. That as their father, it was my responsibility to provide for and to protect them, not to kill them. My 3 aborted children were created in the image of God, and they are precious to God, and by God's grace, they have become precious to me. For years, when Jeannie and I would speak about abortion, as a part of our past, it was a one-sided conversation. I didn't want to talk about how I had failed to be the man that God had created me to be. And Jeannie didn't believe that I had anything of value to say, because as a man, I could never know the pain that she felt. After all, abortion is a woman's issue, right? One day, just a few years ago, Jeannie and I were having the same one-sided conversation we'd had so many times before. And I asked her one simple question that changed our relationship around abortion forever. I asked her, what would you have done if that young man had called you the night before your abortion and said, let's not abort our baby? And in angry tears, because she thought I could not understand her pain, she cried out, I would not have had my baby killed. But the fact is that I understood her pain all too well. You see, I knew that the night before her abortion, Jeannie waited by the phone for that very phone call that never came. So I simply said back to her, it was his responsibility to make that call. It was his responsibility to protect his unborn child, to protect you from the devastation of abortion. Just as it was my responsibility as a father to protect my unborn child, and as a man to protect those women who were the mothers of my children from the burden of abortion. But I never made that call. In fact, I encouraged the abortion. This is my story of abortion, the story of failure to be the man that God created me to be. In surveys of post-abortive women, they're often asked what would have influenced them to choose life. Many here have gone through one of these post-abortive surveys, and they know that the number one factor is having a man support their decision to keep their baby, especially the father of the baby or their own father. My wife and millions of women like her have borne the burden of abortion all alone for far too long. That is why I will be silent no more. Man, our silence is a critical way that our culture marginalizes the tragedy of abortion as a women's issue. That is one of the core strategies of the abortion industry. If they can keep abortion a woman's issue, then they can effectively stifle the discussion around this issue. If abortion is a woman's issue, then those who support abortion can say that a man who affirms the sanctity of the lives of the unborn infringes upon the rights of the women, and thereby eliminate the right of any life-affirming man to engage in this issue, eliminating 1/4 of our population from the conversation. We must not allow this to happen. Edmund Burke said, all that is necessary for evil to triumph is that good men do nothing. Men, the abortion industry wants us to do nothing, to remain silent. Do not allow evil to triumph. It is time for us, it is time for the fathers of aborted children to stand alongside the mothers of aborted children and be silent no more.